I'm Jonathan Metter. I'm LGB of America's product manager. And this is Tony Castellano. He's the president of LGB of America. He's going to be doing most of the talking. But before he starts, I want to ask everybody a favor. I think it'll help things go more smoothly. If you have questions, it might be easier if you wrote them down and put them on a piece of paper and send them up front. I don't know. We'll see. I think we're going to hear the same question. Try to listen in and see if somebody's already asked the same question. And I think we all have very similar questions, so that'll help things go more smoothly. And we will, of course, be at the booth afterwards to answer further questions. Tony's going to start off with a little bit of history on where things have been, and then we'll get into where things are now and where we're going.
Thanks. I know there's been a lot of questions, concerns about what's going on, what's the story with LGB, and I want to first kind of explain something and kind of, I think many of you already know this, kind of set some things in perspective. I think everybody knows E.P. Lehman was the manufacturer of the LGB trains. I think everybody knows that. Then E.P. Lehman started LGB of America. And LGB of America was designed to be the distributor and the service center for North America. About 2 years ago, E.P. Lehman was running into financial trouble. Again, I think everybody's aware of that. Sold off LGB of America as a part of a opportunity to raise capital to kind of help themselves out of the bind that they were in. Okay, so LGB of America and E.P. Lehman became two separate entities. LGB of America was still the sole distributor in North America for that product, for the LGB product. Okay. Unfortunately, what E.P. Lehman tried to do didn't work, and they ended up going into an insolvency. Again, I think everybody's aware of that. And I really want to make sure that everybody understands this, because LGB of America is not the manufacturer, is not the part of, it's not EPL. Okay, it's a whole separate, it's a distributorship, it's a whole separate thing. And I think that'll become more clear as we go, as we move forward. With that said, E.P. Lehman went into bankruptcy. What LGB of America tried to do was get a group of investors together and buy E.P. Lehman out of bankruptcy. And this was back in the latter part of 06, the beginning of 07. Okay? It ended up coming down between two companies, the LGB of America group and Marklin. As I think everybody knows, Marklin won the bid for E.P. Lehman. Okay, so Marklin now owns the assets, which are molds, the a lot of the European trade names, trademarks. They bought a lot of the equipment used. Since then, they transferred that equipment to either Hungary, which they're doing manufacturing in, or China. So that's where it stands right now with Marklin. LGB of America has retained the distribution rights for the LGB product. What LGB of America decided to do was, okay, we now need to expand our product base. LGB of America started a relationship with Pico, with Bridgeworks, with Knock, with Just Plain Folk. Yes. Jonathan, who else? What am I missing? Hillman's, and that's a whole separate story. We'll get into that in a little bit too. That's kind of where we're going at this point. So with that said, LGB of America was in the process for about a year now negotiating with Marklin to try and get LGB product into the United States, because everyone is aware, well, it's between our parties, LGB of America has the distribution rights. We've been unable to come to terms, and it's a payment term issue. We've been unable to come to terms with Markwood on how they want us to pay for the product and how we want to pay for the product. So that's the situation that we're in. Markland has done some minimal production on some European items and some track up through December of '07, which is past. We did some arrangement, we did some work with Markland to bring in some track, and I think some of you have seen that in the retailers. So we were able to bring some product in that they had available. But since then, since December, there's been no movement of product. Their manufacturing has been limited at best. Now, everything that I'm saying to you is it's public knowledge, so there's nothing, there's nothing hidden. I'm trying to be as open as possible because I want everyone to get a real good understanding of what the situation is and what decisions have to be made. I know there's going to be questions about what's going on with the LGB club, what's going to happen to my repairs, what's the status of parts, and all of those are very valid questions. Ones that I hope I can answer. I may not be satisfied with the answers, but this is what the situation is, and I can't emphasize that enough. I've had some communication with Markland over the last few months, and basically the situation is this. They're not producing any American items, at least through this year. So there will not be any American items. The product that they're producing now, the track and the limited European items that they're doing, are in small quantities. Quantities only enough to support their European market. So basically, at least through the end of 2008, there will be no LGB product coming in. Now, will some European manufacturers, suppliers, retailers have some product? Yeah, but again, it'll be minimal. With that said, again, kind of giving you a background on what the current state of affairs are. Okay, we put together a small press release with Large Scale Online is going to be putting this out, I think.
So, why subscribe to LSOL.com? We're the only website or magazine that provides you with a weekly email news update to keep you informed. We've got a lot of articles to read online, more than anyone else. We've got a secure and friendly message area. We're the only place on the internet that requires our users to use their real names so they can't hide behind their keyboard. And we attend all the national trade shows and take videos and pictures. So if you live on the East Coast, we'll go to the West Coast for you.